Hi there. Welcome to the Sheetly Studio channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the Kanban board with Task Tracker template. For this tutorial, I'll be using the Google Sheets version. But don't worry if you're using Excel, because the steps are pretty much exactly the same. All right, let's dive right in. As you can see, I'm currently here on the Setup tab. Over here, you'll find the list of assignees for your tasks. And right next to it is the list of task categories. Whatever you enter into these lists will automatically update the drop-down menus over in the Task Tracker. Now, moving over to this section, you'll see the list for your task statuses. I've already set up some default emojis and status names for you here to get you started. But the best part is you can fully customize these. Feel free to rename them or copy and paste your favorite emojis from sites like Emojipedia to match your own style. Next up is the list for your Kanban stages. Whatever stages you type in here will instantly show up on the main Kanban board tab. And just like the other settings, updating this list will automatically update your drop-down menus, keeping everything perfectly in sync. All right, now let's move over to the Task Tracker tab. As you can see, this top section acts as a dashboard for your tasks. Right here, you can track the overall progress of everything you're working on. Over on this side, we have the Category to Highlight feature, which lets you easily spotlight specific types of tasks below. Looking up at the very top, you get a quick summary of your workload. It shows the count for your total tasks, as well as those that are completed, remaining, overdue, due today, and due tomorrow. And lastly, right up here is today's date. Now, let's scroll down to the main task list table. I'll walk you through a quick example of how to add a new task. First, under the task name column, I'll just type in task name example. Moving to the next column, we need to choose a category. When you open this dropdown, you'll see the exact list of categories we created earlier over in the Setup tab. For this example, let's go ahead and select Operations. Moving along, the next column is for the task status. Let's set this one to In Progress as an example. Next up is Priority, and I'll just choose High from the dropdown. Then we have the Assignee column. Once again, these options are pulled directly from that list we made earlier on the Setup tab. Beside that is the Progress column, where I'll just type in 75%. Now for the dates. Here in the Start Date column, if you're using Google Sheets, you can simply double-click the cell to bring up the calendar. However, if you're using Excel, you'll just need to type the date in manually using a day, month, and year format. So let's say our start date is March 20th, and for the end date, I'll set it to March 27th. And right here, we have the Kanban stage column, as you can see here. For this example, let's go ahead and assign this task to the backlog stage. All right, now let's head over to the Kanban board tab. The great thing about this tab is that everything is completely automated based on what we just entered. All you have to do here is use the filter section on the left side to view exactly what you need. For instance, under the Show Only dropdown, if I select Done Tasks, the board will automatically update to display only your completed tasks. And if I switch it over to Undone Tasks, it instantly filters the board to show only the tasks you're still working on. Okay, I'll just set this back to all for now. Right below that, you also have options to sort and filter your board in a few different ways. For example, let's say I want to narrow this down by category. I can just go ahead and filter it by operations. And right there on the board, you can see the exact task we just added a few moments ago. Now, you might have noticed the specific color on this task card. This color coding is actually based on the task's priority level. To see what each color means, you can just check out this handy little legend down here in the bottom left corner. As the legend shows, pink stands for high. So since our task card here is pink, we know right away that this is a high priority item. All right, let's just clear that category filter to reset the board. Moving a little further down the left panel, let's test out the due date filter. Let's say I only want to see what's due between March 25th and March 27th. Once I plug those dates in, the board instantly updates to show only the tasks falling within that specific time frame. And sure enough, right over here, our example task pops up perfectly since its due date matches. Now, what if you need to quickly update a task? If you look closely at the bottom of the task card on the board, you'll see a little Edit Task button. Simply click on that, and a hyperlink will pop up. Click on the link, and like magic, it jumps you straight to that exact row over in the task tracker. Let's update this one together. First, I'll check the box in the Done column. Then I'll update the status to Completed, bump the progress up to 100%, and finally, move the Kanban stage over to Done. Alright, let's head back to the Kanban Board tab to see what happened. And there you go. That same task we originally put in the backlog has now automatically shifted over to the Done column. Plus, you can clearly see right here on the card that the progress indicator has updated to 100%. Alright, moving right along, let's check out the Monthly Calendar tab. Just like the Kanban board, this entire section is fully automated and runs on built-in formulas. All you have to do is use the quick setup area right up here in the top left corner. For example, let's go ahead and change the display month to April. The moment you do that, the calendar instantly updates to populate all of your tasks that have an April due date right onto the layout. Alright, let me just switch that back over to March for now. While we're here, I want to point out this section where you can quickly filter your calendar view, just like we did on the Kanban board. Right below that is a handy legend that explains what the different task colors mean. And this is Notes. Let's see how this filter works in action. Say I want to filter this view by Kanban stage. If I select In Progress right here, watch how the calendar instantly updates to only display tasks that are currently in that stage. And just to show you another example, if I go ahead and switch this over to Backlog, the calendar updates again right away. As you can see, we only have one task sitting in the backlog stage for this month. By the way, if you look closely at the left side of this task, you'll notice a little emoji that actually represents the task's current status. Alright, let me just clear this filter out so I can show you a bit more. Now that the calendar is full again, you can clearly see those status emojis on all the other tasks too. Because these show up right here on the calendar, I highly recommend picking out some fun icons for your statuses back on the Setup tab. Now, what if you need to update a task directly from the calendar? Well, it works exactly like the Kanban board. Simply click on the task itself and hit the hyperlink that pops up. Just like before, it instantly takes you straight to that exact row back in the task tracker. Let's do a quick update on this one as an example. I'll check it off in the Done column, switch the status over to Completed, bring the progress up to 100%, and finally, set the Kanban stage to Done. Alright, let's jump back over to the Monthly Calendar tab. And take a look at this. You can see that the little status emoji on that exact task has automatically updated to the completed icon. And that's it for today's tutorial. If you'd like to start using this exact template, I've left the link for you right down in the description box. Also, if you found this video helpful, a quick like would mean a lot. And if you want to see more templates like this, feel free to subscribe to Sheetly Studio. We'd love to have you. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.